I, 23 male, recently got into a big fight with my older brother, 33. I'm the youngest of 5, and because of the big age gap with my older siblings, they're all 10 years older than me. I've never really had a connection with them. They always had some hard feelings for me, mainly because my parents raised me very comfortably, and they didn't have that. When I was a teen, I started a business, and it was successful enough for me to buy my parents a house and put my siblings into grad school. Even though I've made many efforts to connect to them and do nice things by putting them in college and using my work connections to get them better jobs, they all still seem dissatisfied and use my orientation against me. I don't mind their rudeness. I want the best for them, and thus I offered to fully pay for my brother's, 33, wedding and honeymoon. Things were good for a while during the wedding preparations. I had planned and sponsored the best wedding possible for him, until one day 2 weeks before the wedding, he suddenly called me and said that he didn't want my boyfriend at the wedding. He doesn't want to see me and my boyfriend display our feelings at his religious wedding. I, of course, got furious and said that we wouldn't be bothering anyone and my boyfriend would just pretend to be a friend of mine. But he didn't accept that and said that if my boyfriend and I showed up together, he would kick us out. After the call ended, I contacted the wedding venue and planner and canceled everything. My brother panicked and started threatening me, and after a while he finally agreed to let me and my boyfriend be at the wedding. I disagreed and was still adamant about not paying a cent for the wedding. All of my siblings have tried to convince me to put the wedding back on, but I've blocked them all. But my parents are still very supportive of my decision. So am I the idiot here? So let me get this straight. You bought your parents a house, you sent all your siblings through school, and you fully sponsored your brother's wedding, all from a business that you started as a young teenager? So you're successful, but then he asks you not to bring your partner to his wedding that you paid for? Is he blind to the fact that you've done so much for him? He's just an ungrateful idiot. Not the idiot. Personally, I think you should have cut them all off a long time ago. It's one thing for them to be resentful that you maybe had a more comfortable upbringing than them, and even that you're not close due to the age gap. But they're awful. Based on this, and acknowledging that you don't give a considerable amount of other context, it seems like your siblings are either using you for your money or are at least very comfortable taking advantage of your generosity. Don't pay for the wedding, and don't pay for anything else after that. They've shown their hand, and they don't deserve you. Tough one. Did the bride-to-be know? Did she know you were paying for their wedding? And did she know about the demand your brother gave you? If she didn't know, her wedding would be ruined. She would be an innocent, and you are the idiot here. It would help if you stopped trying to buy your siblings' affection. It sounds like they tolerate you because of the help you can give them, and barely then. They will never accept you for who you are and your life choices. You should never be ashamed of or hide your love towards your partner. Not the idiot at all. It was about time for you to stand up for yourself. You cannot leave them bullying you the way they have been doing all your life, especially after all you've done for them. Every action has a consequence. Now he has to deal with what he created. He should have been extremely grateful for your offer to pay for his wedding, but no, he had to find a way to bully you, even though you're helping him out. Well, too bad for him. Now he'll have to pay for everything himself. Use the money you were going to give him to buy something very nice for you, or go on an amazing holiday when the time allows, and don't give in. They don't deserve you nor your generosity. I'm a young teen female. I was born in a very poor country. My mom didn't have great prenatal care, so she didn't know she was having twins until my brother and I were born. She had just wanted a boy. Unfortunately, my brother died when he was only a few hours old. My mom got depressed after that. Because of my brother's death, we never celebrated my birthday because it was supposed to be a day of family mourning. Although my family will have small celebrations for me on other days, usually just going out for ice cream or other small things, my mom never joined in or anything, no matter when we had them. We live in the United States now, and birthdays are a way bigger deal here than they were back in my old country. We moved here when I was 7, and ever since then, I've always wanted a birthday party with balloons and cake and streamers and everything like that. but my mom has always said no because she says I'm being disrespectful to my brother. Where I live, all of my friends were having small parties to celebrate turning into teenagers, and I felt left out, that I wasn't going to get a party. So I tried to ask my parents again, and they said no. My mom said no, and I was being disrespectful for even asking, and my dad told me to listen to my mom. I know that it's not right to be dishonest, but I just really wanted to experience that feeling of having a whole party just for you. So I saved up all of my money for my weekend job and bought a cake, decorations, and invitations. My friend's family owns a restaurant, and they agreed to let me use the back room. On my birthday, I spent the morning grieving with my parents and then told them I had to go to a friend's house for a school project. So I had my birthday party, and it was the most fantastic time I've ever had in my life. 20 of my friends came, and they all got me gifts and sang to me. There was music and dancing, and it was amazing. My parents found out, though, because one of my friend's parents mentioned it to my mom when she saw her at the supermarket the next day. What a great time my friend had during my party. My mom came home and freaked out. She called me disrespectful, disgraceful, and said that she wished my brother had made it instead of me. So I'm not allowed to hang out with my friends or go on any electronics except for schoolwork. I can use the family computer in the living room so she can see what I'm doing. I'm writing this on a computer in the school's library. I don't think my mom would be mad if I had the party another day and not on my actual birthday. And that's the only thing I feel bad about. I could have had it the day after my birthday instead of the day of and spent the day with my family. I hate spending every single birthday sitting in the dark and not talking or eating while we mourn my brother. I just wanted 1 year to celebrate. Am I the idiot? OP, you are not the idiot. And I can't believe you're only a teen and having to live like this. You are not disrespecting your dead brother. Living your life while he's dead is never disrespectful. What is disrespectful is your mother saying that your life disrespected your brother because she wanted that boy and it died. Maybe it's just me, but this seems like a sort of life lesson she should have learned, but she didn't. Celebrate your birthday. Live your life the way you want to. But unfortunately, your mom has created what was supposed to be your happy day into a day of sorrow. Don't let her. It also really irks me that OP's mother said that she wished her brother made it rather than her. That's so messed up. I couldn't help thinking that if it had been the other way around and OP had died, but her brother had survived, their birthday probably wouldn't be a day of sorrow and he would be allowed to celebrate. I'm sorry, OP. Your parents are using their grief as an excuse to shortchange you. They need a therapist, not a yearly ritual that deprives you of joy for the sake of their late son. If they keep up with their behavior, in 5 more years when you're legally an adult, they'll be wondering why they lost their daughter. I, male 28, have been engaged to my fiance, female 26, for almost a year and postponed our wedding. What caused the delay was my future mother-in-law becoming sick. Finally, my fiance and I decided to have our wedding on January 11th. We've already booked a venue, set the guest list, food menu, etc. My parents live hours away. Once they received the invitations, they called to confirm the date, then demanded I drop everything and come alone to talk about their issue with the date. I took time off work and went to see them, and they set me down to remind me that on January 11th, 2 years ago, my brother Isaac, 30, got officially separated from his ex-wife of 8 years. They went on about what a dreadful day that day is for the family and Isaac, and told me he told them he wouldn't come to my wedding, since this day happens to be his divorce anniversary, unless I change the date, since he said he's planning on getting drunk and crying his eyes out for doing what he did and caused his ex to leave him. I was flabbergasted. Like I couldn't tell if they were kidding, but I politely said I'm sorry, but I'm not changing the date, period. Dad angrily said, "Why the rush? You have a lifetime ahead of you and no harm in moving the wedding date. Think about it." I explained that my fiance and I paid for the venue and set everything up. We can't cancel it now. Mom firmly told me to leave my fiance out of it because she had nothing to do with our conversation. I got upset and said I was not changing my wedding date, and Mom said I was choosing a day-long celebration over my brother and warned me that I'd have to live with the fact that I ruined my relationship with him over this. Dad added, "Think of it this way. I'm getting married on the very same day my brother's marriage ended, and asked how I could not feel guilty for having my wedding anniversary be my brother's divorce anniversary for years to come. I argued that Isaac only has himself to blame for sleeping with someone else while married, and my ex-sister-in-law was right to decide she was having none of it. My parents justified as he was drunk, but the outcome is the same. Before I left, they said if Isaac wasn't coming, they too wouldn't come to the wedding. That devastated me because I wanted my family to share my joy. After all, this is a big deal for me. I wasn't sure if my parents have a point seeing more and more family are saying they won't attend if I still have my wedding on my brother's divorce anniversary. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and I'm confused. I'm currently going through a divorce, and I already have at least 3 anniversaries: the day she left, the day she told me she wasn't coming back, the day the decree nisi was granted. There'll be another when the decree absolute comes through. Then, of course, there's our wedding anniversary, the anniversary of the day we met, and her birthday. So many dates that people can't steal for happier reasons. Clearly, I've been doing it wrong because I have entirely failed to demand that my entire family arranges their life around these poignant but ultimately meaningless dates. I hadn't realized that I was supposed to spend the rest of my life mourning a marriage that was over and refusing to enjoy anything else. Yeah, I was just coming to say the same thing. Not the idiot. I'm divorced, and the day he left certainly isn't my divorce anniversary. Did I remember the day for years? Yes, I did, but it wasn't any harder than our actual wedding anniversary date. I can't even remember what day I got my divorce papers anymore. It sounds like your brother's enjoying his pity party and enjoys playing the victim. OP, your parents sound like awful people, prioritizing your brother's bad decisions over your most important day. If anything, that should be a day they want to forget and should be glad to have a happier anniversary to replace it. Also, who celebrates their divorce anniversary? That's seriously messed up. Oh, boo-hoo, I'm a garbage person who cheated on my wife, and she left me. So let me ruin this day for everyone else for the rest of my life because of my bad choices. I'm nearly adult and I have 2 older sisters and 1 younger brother and sister. My sister has recently had a baby and was having trouble keeping her house tidy as a single mother. So I stayed with her for a week, and she said she would give me money for my driver's license if I cleaned her kitchen for her. There were no dishes left clean, and she avoided going in there. I agreed, even though it would have taken me an entire day to get it properly clean. There was trash everywhere, even with flies. I did it, and the kitchen was sparkling clean, even the microwave and fridge. After I went back home, I didn't mention it for a while because she was still new to being a mom, but 2 of my friends got their licenses. I brought it up to her, and she said she didn't remember telling me that, and she couldn't afford it right now with the baby. So I left it alone for a while. I asked her again the other day, and she said point blank that she never said that. But she did, because even though I loved them both, I wasn't cleaning that mess for nothing. I mentioned it to my mother, and she said not to lie about stuff like this when my sister had just given birth. This was 3 months after she said it, and about 4 months after she'd given birth. I had most of the money saved, but I needed a bit extra to have enough. I told my mother about everything that happened, and she said to leave it alone. This is not the first time my older sister has promised me things and reneged. Theater visits, sleepover nights, bike rides, loads more. I guess I just wanted to believe her. My mother has always taken her side. I had enough and explained everything to my dad because no one was listening to me. He told me to move in with him and I agreed. When I told my mom, she broke down, saying that she didn't favor my sister over any of us and needed me here to watch my younger brother when she was at work. For instance, my eldest got pregnant at 21 and she was ecstatic. My other sister got pregnant now at 21 and my mother is angry at her. I told her I wouldn't be staying and needed some time to cool off and pack some clothes. My siblings won't talk to me, not my pregnant sister, and blame me for upsetting my mom, calling me the idiot. Not the idiot. Jesus, your mom isn't even trying to hide her intentions. She doesn't want you back because she loves you. She wants you back because she needs you. If you go back, you are never getting out of there. You are not the family's go-to cleaner and unpaid babysitter. It sounds like a chaotic household, but you didn't create the drama, and you aren't responsible for managing it. Go live your own life, OP, and enjoy your young adulthood. Your family sure is comfortable using you as a free cleaning service and childcare without doing much to return the favor, aren't they? You weren't born to help clean up other people's messes, and no one should treat you as if you were family, least of all. Stay at your dad's. Then you should be able to enjoy what little remains of your childhood. Graduate, seek out higher education. Your mom's mistakes and your older sister's mistakes don't have to be your mistakes. You're not doomed to follow in their footsteps if you don't want to. OP, everyone except you and your dad is an idiot. Now you've learned your lesson, I hope. Don't help your sister again, since it's clear that she's an irresponsible person and a flat-out liar. Your mother can pay someone to watch your younger brother. If she claims she'll pay you, make sure you get the money first. If your siblings are siding with your mom, it's not worth talking to them anyway. My fiancé, 23 male, and I, 24 female, got engaged last month. We've been together 3 years, and honestly, it's been almost perfect. Last weekend, we were celebrating, and everyone was pretty drunk. One of my fiancé's friends mentioned finding it amusing how he ended up with me, despite liking my best friends originally. When I asked what they meant, they said my fiancé had a crush on my best friend before we got together. Apparently, he was completely in love with her. On top of that, I was told he originally became friends with me to get closer to my friend. I didn't find it funny and was really upset. The night kind of went to crap, and I ended up just leaving. My fiancé claims that they exaggerated, and it, quote, wasn't that bad. He said he had a small thing for her and became friends with me by coincidence. We had met at uni, and I honestly don't know for certain which is true. He claims that once we started to get close, he completely forgot his crush and just fell head over heels in love with me. I don't know how to feel. He's been a fantastic partner. I love him so much. I know he hasn't tried anything with her. She would have let me know immediately. But I hate knowing this. I know I'm not as beautiful as her or anything, but I thought I finally found someone who wanted me. But I'm just the backup because he didn't get the girl he wanted. It hurts so much, and I feel so betrayed. He's tried to assure me he loves me, and she means nothing romantically. But I don't know, I can't stop hurting, and I don't know what to think or who to believe. I don't know what to do about this. A crush just means he found her cute or attractive. That's not the same as in love, and you know darn well love requires more, OP. Are you upset that your friend is cute, or that he initially had eyes on her? Because you seem to be taking it as some rejection of you, when in fact you have nothing to do with that. If anything, the fact that he overlooked his initial attraction and fell in love with you should be seen as a compliment. You're not a backup. He chose you. You've been together for 3 years and are now engaged. You said your relationship has been perfect. To me, it seems a bit ridiculous that you doubt everything you've experienced together, just because of a crush he had before he even met you. Grow up, OP. Honestly, the whole use me to get closer to her would be a major betrayal of trust for me, and I'd honestly need to pause and talk to him about it. That's a crappy thing to do to someone, and kind of a red flag to me. Don't marry him, OP. Don't make that mistake. Know for sure and trust your gut. He didn't tell her that. His friend, who happens to be a woman, did. It makes me think she has a thing for OP's fiancé and is trying to break them up now that she knows she'll never have a chance when they get married. It's been 3 years, and it never came up until after they got engaged. Funny the timing.